Hi guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. If you are new here, hello, my name is Kate. I've been a nail technician for about 8 years and I'm also an educator for just over a year now. So in this video today we are going to do some Aurora nails, but we're going to do it slightly differently from the way I've seen it done on TikTok. So stay tuned if you want to learn how to do those. Today we're going to be working on this model here. This is my practice hand, and we're going to try out a few different ways of doing these kind of Aurora nails that I have seen on TikTok. So all these kind of gemstone looking ones, Aurora, and yeah, she uses them with chrome. Her TikTok name is Dat Biz Nails. I will write her TikTok down below. She has some really cool designs, so I'm going to try recreate them and do them a little bit differently. So we have these pre-made tips in here. With this practice hand, they just slide in and slide out. So I'm going to leave them how they are and we're going to get started. So for this tutorial, that girl used a chrome as a base. I didn't have any Aurora style chromes. Mine are quite white looking, so I'm going to try with some gel polish. Ooh. So I'm going to go in with the colour Jelly Love, and I'm going to try another one with Violet Lights. So this Jelly Love colour is quite sheer, quite see-through looking, and it kind of looks chromy. It's like a lip gloss kind of colour, so that's why I chose that one. And then the Violet Lights colour is also quite see-through, but it's more kind of glittery than it is chromy. So we'll see how they look and see the differences between the two. And then the foil that I'm going to use is this one here. So it is see-through and it has that kind of Aurora diesel-y look off of it. And yeah, we will jump straight to it and see what happens. So for this, again, I'm going to use some gel polishes. You're also going to need some kind of building gel and some foil as well. So first I'm going to try the Jelly Love colour, and I'm going to try that one out on the ring finger. So I'm just going to bend the other fingers out of the way, and I'm just going to get the sharp edge off of that tip first. So I'm just going to go in with my 180 file and literally just straighten that off so there's no roughness. So taking my Jelly Love colour, I'm going to paint 2 coats of this on the nail. So you can go in with this with a full coverage colour underneath, but I think the whole purpose is to have a kind of dual chrome effect. So the chrome underneath and then a different chrome on top as well is how she did it. But I'm going to use, again, gel polish, and I'm going to use foil instead. So just to see if it works, because a lot of the times we might have these things lying around rather than having to buy a lot of new products for trends. So I'm going to cure this in my light for 60 seconds. So that is cured, so we're going to go in with another coat. So the spring collection for the manicure company had all these kind of jelly colours in them, and they all kind of had this little chrome finish, bar one of them is glittery. So this one again is called Jelly Love. And they have a few different colours. They have a pink, a peachy pink, they have green, blue, purple, and then their mirror ball shade, which is a holographic, really light glitter. So in the lamp and cure again for 60 seconds. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the sticky layer of this off, because when we're sticking our little piece of foil onto it, I'm going to get a piece of my gel and I'm going to do it right in the center in kind of like a little oval shape, but I don't want the foil to stick to anywhere beyond that little oval shape. In the original tutorial, she actually placed, it looked like a little piece of plastic, something that was a bit more stiff than foil. So this is obviously going to stick to the nail and stick pretty much everywhere it goes to. So for that reason, again, I'm just going to cleanse the tacky layer off of that. So just grabbing a lint-free wipe and my nail cleanser and taking that sticky layer off. And grabbing my gel product, I'm pretty sure you can use any kind of gel because we're going to be encapsulating this as well, so it can be in a pot or a bottle. So I'm going to try keep this as kind of ovally as I can, and I don't want to build it up too much because again we are encapsulating this design, and I want to keep it more towards the center of the nail. So just trying to even out that shape as much as I can. Taking off some of that excess. And I'm just going to grab my lint free wipe and just tidy up that end piece. You could also do that with a dry brush, but I have this to hand, so we'll use this. So it doesn't have to be perfect. So I've seen two different ways of doing this. I've seen where you cure this and use the tacky layer to stick the foil into it. And I've seen where you use it wet and just cure it on top. So I think that's what I'm going to do, but I'm just going to cut a little piece of this off. So I have my little piece here cut off, and I'm going to very lightly place it on. Try not to disturb the shape underneath, but making sure it's in contact as well. So very lightly tapping it in, and because it's see-through, you can see where you've made contact. So I might hold this one as it cures, just so it doesn't move on me. And then I can apply the pressure where I need to. So I'm going to cure this again for 60 seconds. So now that this is cured, we're going to remove this. And it is stuck down exactly where we put that gel. So one of the reasons why you don't want it to be too thick when you put it down is because when you put the foil on, you can see that it spreads all the way to the edges. So it might take a little bit of trial and error before you get it to how you want it, but I'm going to go with this. And I'll turn this from the side so you can see how little product I put on. Still nice and thin. You have the full coverage foil in the center, so you can see it all came off exactly where we had it on. So the next step we're going to do is encapsulate this design. So the girl on TikTok, she uses one chrome here and a different shade of chrome where I placed the foil, and then she actually scratches it up a little bit. I'm going to try it without scratching it up first and see how that looks, and we might do another one where it's scratched up and it looks a little bit more like a stone. I think she called them labradorite nails, so she's copying off of gemstone. So we're going to encapsulate this. So I'm going to do a slip layer first, and then I'm going to encapsulate the whole design. So having a slip layer just makes sure that the product will self-level a little bit easier, and it will go where you want it to go. Makes it a little bit easier to work with. So if you're doing any kind of gel products, you want to make sure that you, or any extension or anything like that, you want to make sure that you are building your apex out of this layer as well. So I'm going to pop that into my light. So now that that is cured and out of the lamp, have a bit more structure in there, I'm going to take the sticky layer off and I'm going to finish file as normal. So when the other girl was finished filing, because she had a more flatter surface, she had a lot more to take off the sides, which made the edges of where she had placed the chrome a little bit more kind of jagged, made it look a little bit more natural. So I do have a little bit of width to take in at the sides, so I'm hoping that I will have the same effect. Just gonna go in with a 180 grit file. I don't have too much to do. Straightening out my side walls. So I have finished filed that, finishing it off camera, and I have top coated it, and this is how it's looking. I am happy with it for the most part. It is nice and shiny, and it's still quite thin, so it's definitely a thinner way of doing it instead of having a piece of plastic or anything encapsulated in it, which is why I wanted to try it this way. Also, this is just a product that most of us might have instead of having to invest in more or trying to find a suitable piece of plastic to work with. So I'm going to try the same thing again, but with the foil underneath. I'm going to try scratch it a little bit and maybe try have these a little bit more uneven or natural looking, or maybe I'll just scratch up the sides a little bit more. And I'm going to go in with the same color again, that is Jelly Love, and I'm going to paint my 2 layers on. Going to cure that then for 60 seconds. Going in with my second coat of color. So that is fully cured. Again, I'm going to take the sticky layer off of the color, so when I pop the foil on, that it doesn't accidentally stick to anything in the background. So going in with my gel product again. I might do more of a blob and let it spread out when I have the foil on. So building up a little bit higher, instead of painting it where I want it to go, because it's gonna do its own thing anyway. So I'm doing mostly just a stripe, somewhat down the center, trying to make it even on both sides so the spread is even. And then I'm going to go in with my foil. I'm going to grab a fresh piece so it's nice and solid. Again, making sure you have the correct piece up, so you always want to see the design clearly on the upside. So for us down, for us to see, we want to be able to see it clearly. Generally, they are full coverage ones where you'd have, say, gold foiled here, and then you'd have whatever color backing. Generally, they're silver. But with the clear ones, you have a more matte side and a more shiny side. Shiny side is going to be the design you want to see. So what you want to see, you're going to place on top. So we have that running a little bit, so I'm just going to tip it back so I don't have a big bulk right at the tip. I'm going to place that down. So I can see exactly where the contact is because it's a clear foil. I'm trying to even out the pressure of the way I'm holding the foil. And I'm going to flash cure that when I'm holding my hand in the light, and again then fully curing once I let go. So now that that is cured, I'm going to take that off nice and gently. So we have a little bit of loose foil here, so that is fine. So when we encapsulate all that in, some of this at the edge will be filed off. So same as before, except I'm going to scratch the surface of this a little bit. So I'm going to bend the fingers out of the way. I'm going to grab my 180 file. I'm going to see what way this scratches the best. So I'm going to really kind of focus on the edges so that the edges are a little bit more blended out. A little bit more natural looking if we're kind of copying off a gemstone. And I did mostly up and down light scratches there. I'm going to do a few kind of side to side, just to vary it up and that it's not kind of perfect looking. So dusting that off, making sure that we're not finding everything away. So you can see we have a little bit of overhang here. A lot of that came off, but I'm just going to make sure that that is nice and either removed or rugged looking. So we'll go with that, see how that works out. So again, I'm going to encapsulate this design. Doing my slip layer first. So I'm going to focus mostly on the top half and the apex, and then I'll probably come back, add another bead and do the bottom and make sure that the sides are encapsulated in, because this one was a little bit thicker, so I want to make sure that I don't miss anything down the sides. So I'm actually just going to flip that upside down. Let it level out. Let it naturally fall into the apex, and then I'm going to flip it back over. Have a little check of it before I pop it in the light. So I'm just going to thin out that tip a tad. Yeah. Curing that. So that is now fully cured. You can kind of see how it's going to turn out. I think the scratches on it are really nice. So I'm going to take the sticky layer off and I'm going to finish file this again. So tucking those other fingers away. So taking my 180 and going straight up and down the side walls so that anything that's making it too wide this way is brought in. And then bringing that into the shape so that the side walls of the shape are nice and straight. Because obviously if we're going up and in the side walls, we're going to miss this bottom half here. So once you have the side walls tucked in nice and tight, we're going to blend that up. And by doing this, you're catching some of the edges of the foil kind of at the side, depending on how thick the gel underneath was. So the reason why I chose to do this with foil instead of the chrome and the plastic, again, this is something that's a little bit more accessible, and it might be something that we can do thinner, so something with gel polish as well, rather than just having it to keep it to your gel and your acrylic clients as well. So again, this should kind of interchange with every system you do. The only thing is you'll need a bit of gel or a bit of top coat if you're doing acrylics just to stick the foil to. So you would do a base layer of your acrylic. So you can use colored acrylic for that, or you can just do a base layer and then paint your gel polish on top of your smooth base layer. Then you would go in with either your top coat or a little bit of builder gel and place your foil down like we did. Once that is cured, you can then encapsulate with your acrylic instead of gel. So it should work just the same. So I've seen this again done a few different ways, so it's nice just to have options. and see what suits you best. And so you can do it with whatever system that you work with. I also seen a really good video of a YouTuber that I follow. Her name is Sarah's Nail Secrets on YouTube. And she does it with acrylic and she uses the chrome as well. So that might be another option that might suit you better. She has a really good channel and I would definitely recommend following her. She has lots of tips and tricks as well. So anything that kind of bellows from the shape, and what I mean by bellows is kind of a little bit wide looking. So I kind of have this side nice and straight. This side is straight, but the product makes it look a little bit more curved. So with that, I'm starting off straight and then meeting it up. So kind of like what I'm doing at the sidewall, making it straight and then blending it up, but doing it at an angle so it's in that coffin shape. So doing it nice and straight and then blending out that top wall. So it's a kind of 2-in-1, but you want to make sure when you're doing this that it is perfectly straight, that you're not ending up curving it this way, because then you're just going to create that curve again. So once you're happy with your finish filing, we're going to go in with the buffer again, just to smoothen everything out so that when we go in with the top coat that it doesn't sit in any scratches or anything like that. And just double checking that our shape is nice and crisp. So giving that a little wipe then, getting rid of all of that dust. And we can really see that design come true now. So you can see how it looks matte. Again, it does look, in my opinion, pretty cool matte, but we are going to go with a top coat shiny finish. And once that is on, we're going to cure that for 60 seconds. So that is it out of the lamp. You can really see the scratches coming through. I think it looks a lot more natural as opposed to this one, although that one is cool as well. But I think I prefer this one. There is a little bit at the side that I did miss, so just to be careful with those side parts, and you can see up at the top as well. Other than that, the sides do look definitely more blended than this one. I think it looks a bit more natural and it's very cool looking, I like it. And then you can definitely mess around with different color foils. Like I know when the girl was doing the chrome on top, she had a different few colors of chrome layering around. So what I like about this chrome as well is that you can see a few different colors coming through. And like that, you can change the background color as well. So if you thought that it was a bit too much kind of purple going on, you could go for more blue or whatever you or your client wanted. So I'm going to try this again, but we're going to go in with the glitter color. So this is Violet Lights, and we're going to do the exact same thing, but see how it looks with a bit of sparkle behind. So I'm going to move those ones out of the way. Same thing again, just sharpening up that shape so there's no little tab at the bottom. And going straight in with that gel polish color. So if you're doing this on an actual set of nails, you would have your base down before. So if you're doing, say, soft gel overlay or anything like that, you want to make sure that you have a cured base layer down behind, so that when you're refilling these, that you have a clear layer to file back to. So you wouldn't go straight in with the gel polish color. And if you're doing just actual gel polish, you want to make sure that you have your base coat down behind as well. So I think with the glitter behind, it's going to give it a bit more contrast as well between the foil and the sparkles. So we shall see how that turns out. So I'm going to do probably just one coat of this because it is sparkly enough for my liking. And we're not really trying to build up coverage. So we're going to cure this for 60 seconds. So that is all cured out the light. So again, taking that sticky layer off. And going back in with my gel product. So the thicker you apply this, the more it's going to spread out to the sides when you place your foil on. So you can kind of play around with that and see what way you want it to be best. I will do a side view for you before I cure this, so you can see the way I have done it. I'd say medium, like it's not a painted layer. It is built up a little bit, so it will spread a little bit for me. So don't know how well you can see that, but that is it there. Focus just kind of down the spine of the nail. So I'm going to pop my foil on top of that and flash cure it, and then I'm going to give it a full cure. Again, shiny side up. You want to be able to see the design. Again, putting as little or as much pressure on as you like, depending on where you want the product to be. Giving that flash cure. So that is out of the lamp. Taking the foil off. So again, we have a little bit of loose overhang. So I'm going to make sure that I fully remove that this time, and we're going to give it another little scratch. So going in, again, just with my 180 file. I'm going to take those loose overhang parts off first. And then I'm going to give it a scratch. So working on the outside, blending that out. And then we're just going to give it a few scratches. So again, you can kind of work in different directions if you want to, make it look a little bit more natural. A few up and down, side to side. Again, I'm going for more scratched kind of towards the outside. So when I'm blending the outside, when I file the entirety of it away and it's just the actual clear gel underneath at the sides, when we encapsulate that, you're not going to see the border of the actual gel because it's all going to be filled up. So that creates a really natural, rugged kind of border where the actual foil is. So again, making sure that is all dust free. Do my slip layer and then encapsulating it the very same as the rest. Making sure not to forget any of the gaps at the side and at the tip as well. Giving that a cure in the light. You can already kind of see how that's going to turn out, and I think I'm going to really like this one. So I'm going to take the tacky layer off and finish file this just like we've done with all the rest. I think these are really cool, Mac, guys. These might just have to be my next set of nails. Anyway, giving that a cleanse, getting rid of all the dust because you don't want any of that trapped underneath when we pop on our top coat, and we're going to go shiny again. I love top coating encapsulated designs. It's like the top coat reveal, and it's very pretty. You can see everything coming together. I love watching clients' reactions to that as well, because they kind of have not much of an idea what's going on underneath, especially because you filed over their design and they're like, no, you're ruining it. So yeah, it's nice to see their faces as well. So again, we're going to fully cure that. So here are the three nails side by side. So we have the first one where we didn't scratch it at all, and then the second one where we scratched it. They both have the same base, and this one is with a glitter base. So this one has definitely less borders on it, same as this one, but with that glitter contrast underneath, it just gives a different finish, and I think it's really pretty. I'm definitely gonna have to give this a go on a client, see what they think. And yeah, maybe try it in a few different colors, different glitter backgrounds and different kind of chromy backgrounds as well, again using gel polish. So the Glaze and Glossy collection is where I got that color from, and I'm pretty sure you can buy them singly now as well, but definitely check out the Manicure Company's website to have a look at those colors. And this one, Violet Lights, you can get it in a collection of 3. So you have Violet Lights, Nature's Aura and Aquatic Highlights, and they all have 3 different glitter bases, and that is called the Strobe collection. So Violet Lights is this one, it's more purple. Then you have Nature's Aura, which is kind of more goldeny, more green. Again, that one kind of changes a little bit depending on what color you're popping it over, if you're putting it over a color. So if you put it on a green, it's going to look a little bit more golden, but if you put it on, say, pink color, the kind of pink pigments come through in it a little bit as well, so it's kind of a pinky golden. And then you have the Aquatic Highlights, which is your more blue. So yeah, let me know down below which one of these you prefer, and if you end up recreating any of these on yourself or on clients or anything like that, be sure to tag me on Instagram. It is at the Nail Lounge, and I will leave all my socials down below as well. That is it for today's video. Catch you in the next one, guys.